Hey guys, it's Iz, and welcome back to another Genshin Impact Lore video. The 2.1 update livestream came in, the trailer for version 2.1 just came out, and now the character trailer for Baal as well. And I'm guessing it's been long overdue for us to talk about everything we know about Baal. Baal is the Electro Archon, or otherwise known as the Raiden Shogun. But as previously discussed in this channel, we know that the gods of this world have their basis on the Ars Goetia, and Baal is of no exception. Baal, according to the Ars Goetia, possesses the power of invisibility and grants it to his followers at times. In the same vein, she could be granting invisibility to her people by shrouding them from the outer world, but that can be a stretch in and of itself. So what else can we find? Baal actually means king, or owner in ancient Semitic languages, and would often be applied to the gods of the people. Baal that we know is actually the storm and fertility god known as Hadad. But over time, Baal became the name and Hadad became the term for king. Or something of the like has happened. Especially with pagan gods at the times, they started to be considered as demons, which is where we ended up today. So, Baal in Ars Goetia is based on a Baal who was the storm god of some Semitic people. Now that's pretty interesting. But the same origin can be said for the name Raiden Shogun, with Raiden being the Japanese god of thunder. I talked about this before, let's just brush over it lightly this time. If you want to hear more about it, listen to my video on the previous Electro Archon. So, Raiden or Raijin is the god of thunder in Japanese mythology, and although he is feared by people, he is also trusted as many previous storms have saved Japan from invasions. And with both the Raiden Shogun and Raijin having a ring with Tomoe symbols, the comparison is uncanny. But why don't we get into the actual game and see where that leads us? As far as we know, Baal had three really close trusted friends: Sasayuri, a Tengu, Chiyo, an Oni, and the Kitsune Saigu, a Kitsune of course. Sasayuri was the general of the Raiden Shogun that had died in battle on the day that the goddess struck Orobashi in half. The war was brutal and brought great suffering to the people. The two sides fought bitterly on what is now known as Yashirori Island. With many casualties and injuries on both sides, Her Excellency's cherished Tengu general, Sasayuri, was among those who had lost their lives. Finally, the great serpent was slain by the Yogosho, where its remains now lie on Yashiori Island, as quoted from Sangonomiya Chronicles. Now, Chiyo, on the other hand, was a great warrior and a friend of the Raiden. With the sword that she uses being a gift from the Raiden makes this all the more clear. But at one point, Chiyo was swallowed up by a creature of the abyss, one with the body of a tiger but with the tail of a serpent. And after fighting off the darkness inside its belly, she cut herself free from inside. But it was too late. The darkness has gotten to her and poisoned her brain. She turned on her friend and attacked Baal, where she lost an arm and a horn and ran away. And the last of the three is the Kitsune Saigu, who was closest to the Shogun, and was eventually lost as well, swallowed up by the abyss during the Cataclysm 500 years ago. Sounds like a fantastic life, huh? Fighting to unite Inazuma, she loses a friend, and fighting during the Cataclysm, loses her last two close friends. You can only imagine the amount of strain that would put in someone's mental, and her recent trailer confirms all of this. If we look at the title of the Archon quests while we are in Inazuma, it may actually give us a clue as to what is happening. The immovable god in the eternal Euthemia, as well as stillness, the sublimation of shadow. Let's tackle the first one. The immovable god is definitely Baal, but the eternal Euthemia is a little bit more complicated. Eternal is a pretty easy term for us to grasp, but Euthemia is very much less known. Euthemia is a tranquil state of mind, and is actually a term used in psychology. So with this, it's clear to see that Baal is after some sort of eternal peace in Inazuma. Eternal tranquility of some sort. Nothing all that surprising here. But with the second title, it's a little bit more cryptic. Stillness, the sublimation of shadow. Sublimation is commonly known as the change in a state of matter, from solid to gas, without first being liquid. But I don't think that's the meaning that is being used here. You see, in psychology, sublimation is a form of defense mechanism in which socially unacceptable impulses and idealizations are transformed into socially acceptable actions or behavior. Okay, not entirely clear yet, but what about the other question, with who is Shadow? Well, look no further than Baal's constellation, Imperatrix Umbrosa, which literally translates to Shadow Empress. Now, because of the comma in the title, it's more than likely that it's describing stillness to be the acceptable action for Baal to channel her ideals into, which becomes precarious. Does she mean stillness in the sense that things don't move on, so in essence don't change? Or is it that she herself has become dormant and still? I think it's both cases. I think what ended up happening is after the loss of her close friends, she started to break, until at one point her brain started to snap. Eventually, she had a buildup of all the negative feelings. She channeled it into the only thing that she thinks is right, which is her ideal of eternity. The stillness of no change is the eternity that she is chasing. And at that same moment, she started to lose herself, and her actual attitude and character began to lie still and dormant inside of her. As for the vision hunt, she has said the reason for it before. If she is chasing absolute eternity, then exceptions are the enemy. And although she says that to the traveler, it's the same for just vision holders, as they are the exceptions in mostly non-vision holder society.
Capable of using elemental energy without a vision. You are an exception, it appears. Exceptions, the enemy of eternity. You will be inlaid upon this statue.
Fitting with the theme of the story so far, in Mondstadt, the place of freedom, they were attacked by their friend who was bounded in chains of anger and rage. The city of contracts, the god is left to stick to his word and end his reign. And the irony in all of this is that in search for absolute eternity, the god herself couldn't do anything else but change. The tragedy of Baal. I think that the only way for Baal to get through this is to realize that the only thing that is eternal is change. And that's what she should live to defend. But I think that's it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed. I know I wasn't able to release a video last week, but now I'm kinda glad since we were able to get more information on the Raiden as well as what may happen in 2.1. Well, either way, if you liked the video, then like it, and comment below what you think about it. Thank you to my patron for still supporting me, and you can too by subscribing to my Patreon. Links are in the description. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you want more Genshin Impact Lore content, feel free to do it. We just reached 8,000 subscribers last week, and I'm so happy for it. I can't wait to reach 10,000. I'm so thankful to have each of you along for the ride. Take care everyone, but that's it from me. Ad Astra, Abyssosk.